a camera, I'm going to go make a movie that's as good as Spielberg's. It doesn't work that way. There's a lot of thought that goes into design. There's a lot of art direction that goes into it. And it's not even the technical issues, which great presentation, by the way, on all the technical issues around creating those amazing looking screens. But there is a lot that is of history to game design and how do the teams create what ends up being that great product. And so this is an issue. I mean, do we want to use grinding to make a great exercise product? That could be awesome. I mean, that would be something that people use, but when is it appropriate to use it? When isn't it? I had to put the word flow in my presentation because that's been mandated for the past 2 years, that any presentation about serious games or gaming in general has to talk about flow. And I'll try to say Csikszentmihalyi or whatever the guy's name is that came up with it, so because that's also obligatory is to say that. But what I want to talk, this is, I've noticed that these rooms are so big, it's really hard to see things. But if you look at these two diagrams, this is a humorous take on game design in the modern world. The one that's on the right side is, okay, this is a dungeon, and we've designed it, and this is going to be our game, and the player will go explore this. The one that's on the right is a modern dungeon that's in a game. And as you progress down that linear path, we have cutscenes that show you what's happening in really interactive, videos. This is sort of the, what is it that's engaging about games? There's a lot that needs to be discussed there because it is not a simple topic, and even within gaming, nobody can really tell you that. A simulation of, Microsoft Flight Simulator, we can debate whether it's a game or not under, the different definitions. The fact of the matter is there's a large segment of the population that actually really enjoys playing that game. There are also a large segment of the population that finds that to be the most boring thing in the world. We cannot just ubiquitously say we're going to create a training product and we're going to make it into a game, and therefore it will be engaging to our users and make them learn better. It's a very simple, well-known rule in the games business, and I think pretty much outside the games business, that not everyone likes the same thing. So how do we create an engaging product that actually teaches people and doesn't just assume that everyone wants the same type of engagement? Maybe they like grinding, maybe they don't. The other thing we're doing is we're moving to a new world here where we have our games for the PS3, we have our games for the Xbox 360. One of these days we're going to have a new wave of platforms, and they're going to have games that are created for them. But gaming has moved so broadly and is on iPads, on smartphones, is out in the world. The hated term gamification has turned everything we do, whether it's shopping at a grocery store or interacting with your bank, into some type of game. And this is not something that is going to stay the way it has been. Part of the reason these groups have done it is that there are, however many billion apps in iTunes Store, because it was easy for one person to go create an app and put it up there, and it cost them $10,000 or less. So a lot of people would go try that. But the quality bar has now gotten so high that we can no longer just assume that you can take $50,000 and go create an interactive product for a smartphone and have it be of the quality level that users want. There's a lot of types of games that are now moving in there. I mean, it was easy to think that you could do Farmville fairly cheaply. But if you now go back and look at the games that are being created by Zynga and their competitors, they're back to spending millions of dollars creating games because the users have now gotten to where they want that level of quality. The other thing is that I used the new iPad 3 with the announcement a few weeks ago with its new high-definition screen that is ultra-high definition. The fact of the matter is that to create art that looks good on such a nice screen is going to require so much bandwidth, so much space, and so much time to build that art that it's going to fundamentally change things. And this happened earlier in the games business when we went from delivering things on floppies to having CDs. And all of a sudden, a game, instead of having a very small amount of art, could now have a huge amount of art. Team sizes went through the roof, and we ended up going from teams pre-CD that had 10, 15 people building a game to teams that had 100 people. A lot of the big MMOs that are out there, whether it's, you think of World of Warcraft, but all the competitors that are coming out are built by teams of multiple hundreds of people. And we're now seeing little mini MMOs that you can download in iTunes store and are taking that much work, and that much back end, and that much customer service on the other side. The other thing I'd like to say is we're entering a post-viral age, which is because everyone out there has sent around the coolest things that they've seen, and you could kind of count on as a marketing campaign that if you didn't put your name on something but you created a funny, humorous video, put it on YouTube, or you created a little interesting app, everyone would pass it around. But that's now happened so many times. We're moving into an age where you're not going to be able to, on the cheap, use social media to just get out there and market yourself. If you're going to use social media in something, you're going to go back to spending as much as you used to in marketing or training or anything else. Nobody's asking any questions here, so hopefully I've got you enthralled, and maybe I'm just not bringing anything up. So I want to quickly hit on business models. This is something that I'm sure everyone in government really cares about, right? But what you're seeing is there is a market out there where you can get your product in front of literally hundreds of millions of people. And most of them expect to get it for free, or at least really cheap. So the games business and all of sort of the software business is grappling with a million different business models on how to actually make money out of this. That's a great thing. If you're now targeting 100 million people and you're not making any money off of it, that's not an industry that's going to survive very long. The fact of the matter was we used to be able to make money if you sold 100,000 games, and now there are people out there that are getting monthly subscriptions in the tens of dollars from millions of people. I mean, World of Warcraft has been generating consistently the past few years over $1 billion a year as a game. So we're going to see a lot of this, and where this will really impact on serious games is that, first of all, we're going to have to get noticed, be able to be